It is time to round up now another big topic of the week. The Army sergeant who left his post in Afghanistan in 2009 is now facing charges from the military. And if found guilty, Bowe Bergdahl could spend the rest of his life in prison. 5 Taliban suspects were released in exchange for Bergdahl last May. The release was negotiated without notifying Congress, which is required by law. However, State Department spokesperson defended the exchange for Bergdahl's freedom. So was Bergdahl worth the 5 Taliban commanders the U.S. traded him for? That's our topic this half hour, and we want to hear from you. You can weigh in on our Fox 26 Facebook page and on Twitter. Be sure to use the hashtag Fox26forlife. Joining us live in the newsroom is our Roundup panel. It's led by our senior Fox 26 legal analyst, Chris Tritico, along with attorney Nomi Hussein and public policy analyst Jackie Bally. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
So what do you think to that question? Was he worth the 5 Taliban commanders we traded him for?
Yeah, it's such a great question in the wake of his getting charged with desertion. And by the way, he could get the death penalty for this. The government has decided not to seek the death penalty, and I think it's probably because we traded him for 5 Taliban commanders. The issue is we don't leave people on the ground, and we were pulling out, and the president said we can't leave this guy here, knowing all along that they didn't have a good answer to whether or not he deserted his post. But the question is do we leave this man there to be tortured and probably killed, or do we go and get him out and bring him back and then deal with him? That's the analysis that we're going to have to play out over the next several months or year or two while he goes through the court system and through the court process and the court-martialing process. You know, President Nomi Hussein, the president didn't notify Congress. He just traded 5 Taliban commanders to get this one guy back. Now he's charged with desertion. Was that the right move?
Absolutely. We don't leave our soldiers behind enemy lines, period. And if the president had an opportunity to bring one of our soldiers, men and women proudly serving this country, defending our freedoms abroad, he should have done it, and he made the right decision. We're not going to have this debate about whether we're going to bring somebody home or not, or why they were captured or not, and then decide to go get them. The president made the right decision to go get the soldier, bring him home, and then decide what we're going to do.
You know, the fact that he's now charged, does that change the decision the president made not to leave a man on the field?
Before the president made this decision, there were many in his platoon, in Bergdahl's platoon, many of the members there who had questioned his motives and had said that he was a deserter. And so this was knowledge that the president had, there was knowledge that a lot of insiders had, and many said that you're bartering with the enemy, and that was a wrong move. And the fact that he is now actually being charged with desertion proves what a lot of his members, platoon co-members, said. If you look at a lot of their interviews, they're also saying that they felt betrayal. Unlike my colleague, they feel that they should not have risked their lives, or there were lives that were lost in trying to save him. And so the fact that we traded him for 5 others, we bartered with the enemy, we have lost because he is now being tried for desertion, and it's very sad that it's come this way. And I think we owe an apology to the family members who did lose some of our good men and women trying to save this person who did not obey the laws.
I don't disagree with that last part, but my question focuses more on, do the ends justify the means? I mean, because the people said, look, we think he was a deserter, does that justify leaving him there?
He broke the law. He deserted. That was his decision to make. He was plotting and planning this for quite some time, and we do not put our good men and women at risk to try to get someone who broke the law and put himself in that position.
How about that, Nomi?
Well, I mean, although this happened in Afghanistan, our laws still apply to our soldiers. We're innocent until proven guilty. He's only been charged with desertion, Chris, and you can appreciate that being a criminal defense lawyer. So, you know, he has his side of the story. The rest of the story is that he was leaving his post to go to the other Army post to report insubordination and problems with the leadership of his command at his particular outpost. So he's got his side of the story, and I think we should let this play out. For us to say that we should have left one of our soldiers over there who voluntarily enlisted in our army to go protect our freedoms, because we're already going to try him and convict him before we even hear his side of the story is absolutely wrong. The president made the correct decision.
All right, let me
he's
go to,
right,
hang on
criminal-
just a second. Let me go to, you can come back in a minute.
Oh, okay.
I know you want to. Let me go to Sally. She's monitoring our social media.
Okay, this is the sentiment that is really out there right now on social media. As we take a look at Twitter, TravelBug1955 says no one makes the argument that Sergeant Bergdahl should have been left behind, but he's likely not a hero or worth 5 terrorists. Hashtag Wake Up America. The only one on Twitter that I could find really defending the exchange was the State Department spokesperson who says, yes, this was worth it.
Well, and you know, this one tweet here, he's certainly no hero and not worth 5 Taliban terrorists. I agree, he's certainly no hero. But the question remains, if we have to get him back somehow, how do we do it? Was he worth those 5? Now, you wanted to respond to what Nomi was saying, so I'm going to let you do that before I ask you another question.
Yeah, he's correct. All criminals will have an excuse. And no, he has not been found guilty. But when several of your platoon members were saying that he was doing illegal activities before this charge even came up, and the fact now that he is being charged, and by the way, the administration is still hailing him as a hero. They're still saying, just like my colleague just said, well, he may be tried as a deserter, but it's not quite true that he is. Let's let it play out.
Well, that's what the Constitution requires.
Yeah, but how dare he? He did something. We do have facts that he did do something illegal. We do have those facts. And so we're going to let it play out. And then when he is found guilty of desertion, what are they going to say then?
Well, then they're going to lock him up if that happens. We're almost out of
Let's hope so.
time, but the president did not notify Congress he was doing this before he did it in apparent violation of U.S. law.
Well, the president has executive authority, and he's our commander-in-chief. So if he thought it necessary to do this without notifying Congress to get Sergeant Bergdahl back stateside, I still think he made the right decision.
The president said at the time there wasn't time. We had a short window of opportunity. We had to do it. I did it, and I'll stick by it.
Sure, the president always says that when he wants to do what he wants to do. This president has proven to us that he's not going to check with Congress. He's going to do what he wants to do. And he probably knew that Congress would have questioned his motives, the fact that he wanted to trade one for 5.
Where we got that?
Yeah, wanted to trade 1 for 5. And clearly, based on how this is turning out, they have every right to question his motives because it made no sense.